friends, and may the 4th be with you. This is possibly, it vies for my favorite holiday of the year. Halloween is absolutely my favorite holiday, but Star Wars Day, if Halloween didn't exist, Star Wars Day would be my favorite. I have been a Star Wars fan for pretty much as long as I can remember. And one of the things that I've really enjoyed about sewing, in fact, one of the first things I ever sewed, apart from costumes, I spent my 20s making a lot of costumes. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know how to read a pattern, but boy, did I make some costumes. Maybe we'll do a montage of costumes right here for a minute so that you can see some, or perhaps while I was talking I will have shown some. I'm still trying to figure out this whole YouTube editing thing. Anyways, my favorite Star Wars movie is The Empire Strikes Back. I know I'm in front of a Return of the Jedi poster, but I'm staying at my friend's house and this is the poster that she has up on the wall, and perhaps on occasion you've seen it peeking out from behind me while I've recorded at times. My favorite character for the longest time was Darth Vader, and I think it was only with the release of The Force Awakens that my favorite character became General Leia. And I know this is a Princess Leia shirt, but General Leia shirts are harder to find. I did make this one. This was a big oversized t-shirt, and I took the chai tea pattern by Liesel & Company and turned it into this, and I added the purple color blocking, and I did a short reel on it. I'll link it here or there, wherever the links go on this thing. Anyways, for Star Wars Day, for the last couple of years, I have made something fun and Star Wars related. Here are a few of the things that I've made. That before mentioned gathered skirt. The first dress I ever made was an Empire Strikes Back dress, which was absolutely terribly constructed. I made it to wear on the Star Wars Disney cruise, which was so much fun. I ended up taking second place overall on trivia. On a ship full of nerds, I took second place overall. And you might be asking, why only second place? Why not first place? Well, that's because the person who won knew a whole lot more about prequel characters than I did. And you know what? That's okay. I mean, clearly he deserved to win. But, so we had a great time. I enjoy cosplaying Star Wars characters, and I just really love the movies in general, and the TV shows, and all that stuff. And so I wanted to make something special to celebrate May the 4th. And as you can see, so I talked about the dress. I also made a caftan, and then I made a day dress out of that same fabric. Both of those were, all those things that I've shown you were made out of old sheets, to include another gathered skirt and some matching shirts for my husband. So along that, and my first walkaway dress for the walkaway dress challenge was a Darth Vader walkaway dress. So all that to say, I think it appropriate that for my special thing that I make this year, that I once again use an old sheet. I had these sheets on my very first combat deployment. I was a brand new co-pilot. It was the mid-2000s. I was deploying to Iraq, and I am a big nerd, and I took Star Wars sheets with me because that's what I wanted on my bed. So I'm going to use these sheets, but because they're not enough for the dress I want to make, I intend to color block with black. So I'm going to make the cinch-it dress by Charm Patterns, and just because it has a center seam, it doesn't really have a waist seam, but it has suggestions for how to make one if you want to do color block. So I could do a full color block where I just do the print here and the black here, and leave it at that. Or I could do a color block where I do print, print, black, black. And I just think that'll be a lot more fun because I can also color block the capped sleeves, and I can color block some big patch pockets as well. So, and I've been wanting to do this cinch-it dress. I'm debating between whether I'm going to make a belt. I kind of found a really cool elastic Darth Vader style belt, so maybe I'll do that. And hang on, Rosie's been sitting at my feet. I think that she was very sad, because I'm not sitting, I'm standing, she didn't get her camera time. So Rosie, say hello to your hundreds and hundreds of fans. You have over 600 followers, subscribers now, Rosie. Yes, she's like, yes, I should be followed. Anyways, all right, I'm gonna sit you down now, okay? So that's what we're gonna do, the cinch-it dress, and it's fun because you can wear it as a house coat, you can wear it as a beach cover-up, or with the belt on suddenly, and you know, belt and a petticoat, suddenly you're in a really cute, adorable, vintage style dress, and I think that this is just perfect for Star Wars Day. So I'm really excited for this project, and let's get sewing. All right, let's talk about the fabric. This sheet is definitely polyester, like the worst kind. I just remember sweating in it so much when I was in Iraq. What I have in my stash is 3 yards of rayon crepe de chine, which is definitely not the same as this, but they're both light and airy, so they should have a similar weight to them. And again, I'm still doing the last sewist standing challenge, so I can't buy any fabric, and I don't really keep polyester on hand other than, like, you know, into sentimental things like this. So we're gonna hope that this works, and at least half the dress I'll be able to breathe in, and it won't be like, I'll only be wearing plastic on half the dress. So I don't quite have enough black fabric to make this dress. And normally it would not be a problem. I would just go out and buy fabric, but right now I'm doing the last sew a standing challenge, and if I buy fabric, I'll be out. But as you can see, I'm short quite a bit. So I have to mull over it tonight because I've already looked through. They're very interested because I have Cheez-Its in my hand. I've already looked through my entire fabric collection, see if there's anything I could dye, anything that I could use instead of, and I don't. I decided to give piecing a try. If piecing it together doesn't work, or if it looks absolutely awful, I'll go buy some fabric. But I do want to try to stay in the challenge for as long as possible. Alright, this is going to be the back of the dress, this is going to be the front of the dress, and the piece that determined the layout is this back piece where I pieced it together here. And so everything else kind of fell out that way because the black fabric is the same no matter which side. So this has determined it. So I've got to go in with some chalk and I'll mark the wrong side of the black fabric all the way across. But now I know which direction I need to cut this Star Wars fabric in, how I'm going to lay it out. Okay. I'm really glad I decided to double check everything because I had actually had that flipped the wrong way, as I did multiple times with, well, I've already made this dress, but I initially sewed it backwards, and there's a video on me making this dress coming up probably in June. Anyways, the other thing I forgot to do was to put the sleeves down to make sure that I don't cut two of the same sleeve direction, if that makes sense. Anyways, I'm glad I double checked. Alright, got all the pieces cut out and serged and put together. So now, and I've got everything interfaced that needs to be interfaced. So now that we've done all the prep work, it is time to actually assemble the dress, which I think will actually go fairly quick. Let's see, it's 9:30 at night. Let's see how quickly I can get it done. One of the things that I am very much being reminded of is how much sewing a sheet sucks, especially when it's a a synthetic material like this. It's very synthetic, so it is just very painful to work with. But I gotta say the end result is always fantastic with my Star Wars sheet creations, even when I do a terrible job at sewing them, because how can it suck when it's such a cool print? So even if I do a trash job at sewing, the item ends up looking pretty freaking killer if you ask me. But again, anything with, you know, Darth Vader and Princess Leia and Boba Fett and R2-D2 and Chewbacca are gonna look pretty stinking cool. So I can already tell that static is going to be a major problem with this dress, but you can see that it's coming together quite well. I really like the color blocking on this, and you really, I think, have to know to look to find my little piece together corner of it down there. So really excited, really happy. It's gonna be cool. Okay, the next step calls for turning this right side out with a loop turner, which I have, and I have had for a long time, but I've never used it. So what do the instructions say? Insert loop through the tube, push lash through the fabric, pull. All right. I think I need to trim this though. The instructions don't say to do that, but I feel like that's pretty obvious. This is one of my favorite sewing tools, by the way. These are little snips by Fiskars. They're spring loaded and they're really sharp, so they work really great as snips, but I can also use them as really quick scissors as well. So all right, let's do, so I'm supposed to push, just push that through. Okay, so push this through, and then I guess push that through my fabric. Oh, okay, yep, that went through. And then I guess I just pull. So let's see if it works. Oh, look at that. That was so easy. Okay. Turner. What's this thing called again? It is called a loop turner. Handy piece of gear. I'm glad I bought one. I bought it like, I don't know, 6 months ago, thinking, you know, I'll definitely use it, and I had never used it, but then when I needed it, popular opinion, I know, but I love putting tags on the clothes that I make, and I took this one off of the sheet because it's a Star Wars dress, so it's gonna have a Star Wars tag on it, and I think that's gonna look super cute. I have assembled everything except for the sleeves. I will do those for another day because it is now a little after 11. So I've been at it for about an hour and a half tonight. And I got the facing on, which I think turned out really well. And the loop and everything put together. And again, I'm just really happy with how it's looking. And this looks like it's gonna be so comfy. I'm really glad this is rayon, so at least, you know, segments of the dress will breathe. Sam definitely makes everything more interesting. I'm trying to sit here to work on the hem for this dress, and of course he wants to be in my lap. But this is a good example of why you need to let your hems... Hi, Rosie. You coming to investigate? No. This is why you need to let your hems hang. Because look at, like, I don't even need to use this. I mean, we can just see, just looking at it right here, how uneven that hem got. So it's hung for about 36 hours. and that's enough time. And honestly, what I think is interesting, I mean, many things about sewing I think is interesting, but I think that this section that I pieced together is actually going to get cut off because it ended up stretching so much on this dress. So I don't even think it's going to survive. So I'm really glad that I didn't go out and buy more fabric. Turns out I didn't need to. All right, the sleeves are complete. I think that it made the dress look really cute to have the sleeves color blocked as well. This button is just one that I had in my button stash. I think the style of it suits well. It's left over from an old project of mine from years ago. And you can see the whole dress in its trapeze form. Let me... So it's just a little fun dress like this to wear around. It's super comfy, a great little house dress to put on. I do have a little petticoat on under it, but the most important thing is I have to figure out what belt to do with it. This one is a bit more narrow, but with a fun buckle. This one I thought was very Darth Vader-ish, and so I thought that was great. But this one is legitimately Darth Vader. And so there's a part of me that's like, well, I have to do this one. So I'm going to play around with it, see which one I like best. Maybe I'll do option number 1. Oh, it's upside down. Let's go. Option number 1. Oh, I don't think this one will be wide enough for my needs, because I think the dress is going to poke out underneath it. So I think something a little bit wider is going to work better. But I might keep this one for future projects if I want just like a plain belt. I should also try it on with me, because it might fit me but differently than it fits the dress form. Okay. Option number 2, the much wider one, the AKA the Darth Vader belt. I do like how that one looks. We'll see if it's comfortable, but I think that stylistically it matches the fact that it's a Star Wars dress really, really well. I like that. Now let's try the actual Darth Vader belt. Because who doesn't need an actual Darth Vader belt in their lives? I haven't taken the tag off yet because I don't know if I'm going to return it. I think I have it on upside down, but that's okay. It's still going to give us a good idea. I do like this one because it is adjustable, so that part's nice. Alright, so just based on the dress form, the way it looks on the dress form, so I'll have to like wear it for myself. I think this one might be really busy for the dress form for the dress, as much as I do love the fact that it is the actual Darth Vader belt. It just seems like too much, and that it actually takes away from the dress. So I think this one's gonna be returned, as fun as it is. And I think I have to try on the two, But I do think the big 3-inch one is going to be the winner. So. Yes, I think this one's the winner. I like the simplicity of it, but it's still, you know, with the buckles and everything, it's still very, very much evokes Star Wars to me. Now for me to try it on. But first, here are some shots of the dress on the dress form. I was really happy with how it turned out and how quickly it sewed up. And I think the thing that took the most amount of time, aside from the color blocking, was letting it hang for 36 hours to make sure it got all the stretch out of it. I did make a matching bag since it didn't have any pockets. And here are the cute little earrings I wore with it. And now you can see just how swishy the dress is and how fun and delightful, and it's just so comfortable. I wore it out that night with friends, and I cannot wait to wear it on May the 4th. It's going to be perfect for that day. I think it's just fun. I don't know how else to say it. It's just fun, 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 fun. Here's the other side of the bag, and now you're going to see what it looks like with the belt off. It works as a muumuu, as a house dress. You can wear it out this way if you want. Totally works in my opinion, but belt it to make it look back to a fitted dress again. And now I'm getting ready to order my milkshake for the night, and boy, that I was very excited, but that milkshake was totally worth it. Many thanks to my awesome housemate and photographer, Amber. Until next week, May the 4th be with you.